Welcome, everyone, to this explainer. Today, we're unpacking something incredibly fascinating, a little esoteric, but honestly, surprisingly practical. We're diving into an ancient text known as the Laojun scripture to explore the literal Taoist mechanics of reality. If you're the kind of person who loves structured systems and wants to see exactly how ancient philosophers mapped out the entire cosmos, and, by extension, the human mind, you are in exactly the right place. We're going to break down their profound philosophical system of the 3-1 and the 9 palaces and look really closely at the actual cultivation significance of void, nothingness, and emptiness. So get ready, because we're about to see the universe in a whole new way. Okay, let's dive into this with a massive question. If the universe really started from absolute nothingness, how did we become so incredibly complicated? To answer that, the text frames our entire journey as a sort of cosmic funnel. We're going to start way up at the top, the absolute origins of the universe, and funnel all of that massive chaotic energy right down into the specific mechanics of your own mind. Here's a quick roadmap for our journey. 1. Origin and the 3-1. 2. Philosophy of void, nothingness, and emptiness. 3. The 9 palaces and time. 4. Sweeping the mirror of the mind. And 5. The natural states of cultivation. Let's get right into it.
Section 1. Origin and the 3-1. The cosmic egg.
The source outlines a chronological splitting of the original cosmic source. You've probably heard the famous Taoist principle where 1 produces 2, 2 produces 3. Well, here's how that actually works. Step 1 is Tai Chu, the original Tao, or the 1. This then transforms into step 2, Tai Su, which is the foundational element of humanity, the 2. Finally, this shifts into step 3, Tai Shi, the beginning of Qi, or the 3. It's this beautifully systematic cascade from absolute singularity right down into the very beginnings of complexity. This forms the essential philosophy of the 3-1. And it's amazing how the ancient text literally color codes the creation of the universe for us. The 1 is associated with essence, or Jing, and the color red. The 2 aligns with spirit, or Shen, and the color yellow. And the 3 aligns with Qi and the color white. The text explains that these elements actually wrap around each other. White wraps yellow, yellow wraps red, and red wraps the 3 back into the 1. So imagine this massive, colorful nesting doll of energy. That right there is what they call chaos. Which brings us to a really powerful quote directly from the source. Chaos is like a chicken egg. 1 produces 2, 2 produces 3, 3 produces all things. This ancient cosmic imagery just perfectly encapsulates how this chaotic mixture of red, yellow, and white energies acts as a literal incubating egg. It's the egg for all physical reality and ultimately our own human existence. Section 2. Philosophy of void, nothingness, and emptiness. First up, we have Kong, which translates as emptiness. Now, this is the boundless white state before heaven and earth even existed. Think about it. No obstacles, absolutely no boundaries. It is the ultimate blank canvas of the universe. And in Taoist cultivation, understanding Kong is absolutely paramount. It's a state of pure potential where the Tao naturally emerges. So it's not empty in a negative or sad sense. It's a vital internal spiritual space just waiting to be activated. To really cement this idea, the scripture offers this absolutely beautiful metaphor. Like a lute or flute. Because it is empty inside, it produces sound. I mean, I love this. It emphasizes that emptiness isn't some dead, barren void. Rather, it is the exact necessary condition that allows for resonance, vibration, and creation to happen in the first place. For a cultivator, emptying the mind is exactly what allows true spiritual resonance to begin. So the crucial point here is that we have to distinguish emptiness from our next term, wu, or nothingness. Wu is associated with yellow qi, and interestingly, it actually has a visible form, but zero physical substance that you can touch or grasp. Think of it kind of like a mirage on a hot road or atmospheric gas. It's energetic form without solid matter. So cultivating Wu means aligning with this incredibly subtle energy, moving gracefully without being blocked by physical attachments. Finally, we have Tsu, or void. This is associated with red essence, or Jing. The text describes it as incredibly bright and illuminating, but completely lacking in form or substance. The perfect analogy they provide is the sun, or fire. It permeates reality, gives light, and has undeniable power, but it doesn't take up any tangible physical space at all. For someone practicing this path, embodying Su means becoming a source of pure illuminating awareness. Let's make sure we firmly grasp the mechanics of this Taoist energy, because it's important. Wu, nothingness, gives us visible form without physical substance. Shu, on the other hand, gives us profound, intense illumination without any physical form at all. Together with Kong, that blank canvas we talked about, these are the three distinct energetic states that build the universe. For a Taoist cultivator, mastering these concepts isn't just a cosmology lesson. It literally means learning to embody that intense, illuminating energy in your daily life without being weighed down by rigid physical attachments. Moving right along, Section 3, the 9 palaces and time, the heavenly cycles. The architectural mechanics of this reality revolve heavily around the number 9. This introduces a huge concept, the 9 palaces, or Jiugong. The text explains that because the 3 fundamental elements of the 3-1 system we just discussed each possess 3 unities of their own, well, 3 times 3 equals 9. This number dynamically governs the entire system of the universe's active yang energy. And the chronological timeline of that yang energy is very clearly dictated by the source text. Yang qi begins its cycle deep under what they call the yellow springs during the 10th month, which correlates to the winter solstice. The cycle then finally ends in the 6th month. Now, if you count that out, from the 10th month through to the 6th month, the total duration of the yang cycle is exactly 9 months. This perfectly connects the profound mathematical concept of the 9 palaces directly to the actual cyclical passage of time. Section 4, Sweeping the Mirror of the Mind. According to the text, our descent from that beautiful, universal simplicity into human complexity creates a major problem for us: sensory overload. They outline the 5 desires that completely cloud our minds. We have the ear grasping for sound, the eye for color, the nose for smell, the mouth for taste, and the heart trapped in endless cycles of love and hate. This constant barrage of sensory input traps the human spirit, leading to massive distraction and severe spiritual exhaustion. What's really fascinating here is the brilliant imagery that text uses for mindfulness. An uncultivated mind, overwhelmed by those 5 desires we just mentioned, is compared to a dusty mirror or freshly fallen muddy rainwater. It is totally incapable of reflecting reality. But an aligned mind, one that has managed to quiet those desires, is like a polished mirror or a bowl of perfectly settled, crystal clear water. Once the mud settles, it can reflect all shapes and truths completely flawlessly. But how exactly do we clear the water? The text offers a really profound warning. To kill a tree, you must uproot it. You cannot just chop off the branches. The author is fiercely critiquing forced asceticism here. You can't just lock yourself in a dark room and plug your ears. That's literally just chopping off the branches. The desires are absolutely going to grow back. You have to understand the fundamental mechanics of your mind and uproot the very origin of desire internally. Section 5, the natural states of cultivation. Now, the text maps out 3 varying depths of enlightenment. The lowest here is the small void, where one focuses purely on physical transformation, symbolically growing feathers to become a flying immortal. Up from that, the middle void involves ascending to the mythical Mount Kunlun as a realized person. But notice the highest path, the great void. In this highest state, you don't fly away, you don't escape. You return to the physical world as a compassionate teacher to all. This idea is perfectly captured in the famous phrase, knowing the white, keeping the black, remaining in the world as a teacher to all. Think about that. The ultimate sage achieves the great void, meaning they completely understand the white, emptiness of the cosmos, but they deliberately choose to keep the black, meaning they remain grounded in the muddy, complex, everyday physical reality out of deep compassion for humanity. And this builds directly into our core takeaway today. True cultivation is not clinging to emptiness to the point of extinction, but maintaining clear intent and compassion right here in the active world. The Lojun scripture directly calls out practitioners who mistakenly worship absolute nothingness and try to erase their own existence. To do that is to literally lose your humanity. True Taoist mechanics require you to hold the ultimate emptiness within while actively living out compassion without. Which leaves us with this final thought. We've traveled from the cosmic egg all the way down to the human heart today. In our incredibly fast-paced, modern world of endless sensory overload, what is muddying the water of your inner mirror right now? Because remember, before you can polish the mirror, you have to know exactly what kind of dust is falling on it. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep exploring, keep learning, and I'll see you next time.